Sadashiva Samarambam Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Param Param Om Namaste. Okay, we begin here from this appreciation of Ishvara as the cosmic Ishvara manifests as the entire universe. So it's also called Vishvarupa Darshan or vision, or the Vishvarupa Bhakta or Virat Bhakta. He has the vision of Shwara as Virat, the physical material cosmos. So that, we have seen it on the 11th chapter and the 9th chapter, and also in the 10th chapter, as we see now. It has been again and again brought up so that we understand those stages of appreciation toward the Creator, from a single deity defined by a name, form, and certain attributes, to the totality of the material world, or to the subtle aspect of the material world is the supreme intelligent power, pure sattva guna, or that holds everything in place by its laws and principles. So the devotee keeps growing until to become a Virat Bhakta. And there is great advantage about that, of course. The mind has become more refined, more subtle. It's understanding Ishvara as not only the material effect of the material cause in itself, but also the intelligent effect, which is much more invisible, much more subtle than material, than seeing Ishvara as this principle holding this material physical universe. But you see the physical material universe, you keep in mind, oh my God, so what intelligence can keep it all together following this precise law? So this is an even more refined way to see the manifestation of Ishvara and its glory on the subtle level, pure intelligence, total power, omniscience, omnipresence, omnipotence. It's a big transformation on the side of the devotee, which brings him to the qualifications necessary to go into the Jnana Yoga, Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana. So, and this process brings about a neutralization of most mental disturbance. So such a Virat Bhakta will become highly qualified effortlessly, and that to reinforce the concept, the Karma Yogi, because this is equivalent to become a Karma Yogi. Karma Yogi begins from the most simple or more rudimentary way of devotion, but then the Karma Yogi is not started there. It's growing, 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 because ultimately he wants to be able to move into the Guna Brahman, but he has to go through stages as a devotee of Saguna Ishvara until one understands Saguna Ishvara as the intelligent cause producing the subtle realm of laws and principles holding this material universe, which is an effect of its material cause, which is itself Ishvara, Saguna Ishvara, the gunas of Ishvara, in terms of Tammaguna, is what allows the grossification of the subtle elements to bring about the physical, material, gross universe. So, and then the mental disturbances are neutralized because the individual, the devotee, has a much more deep and profound vision of the Lord. So therefore, it's from being a Virat Bhakta, having this vision of Ishvara as the totality, physically and non-physically, as the laws and principles behind the physical, And then one is ready to move into Nirguna Ishvara or Nirguna Brahman. Transformation, transformation, transformation are necessary to bring the individual to the Upanishads. And and then it was said on the 10th verse of this very 10th chapter, chapter 10, Ishvara Krishna ji saying, I will make sure that this mind, the mind of such a devotee, will be fit and qualified for understanding my true nature as Nirguna Brahman. I will provide the guru, I will provide the scriptures on Shravanamana and Nijijasana. I will provide the karmic opportunity, a favorable karma, which allows the individual to go into this Upanishadic process. Everything will be provided because, after all, only Brahmanyana, Atmayana alone will liberate you from the mental disturbance of samsara. Even if you are religious samsari, even if you have great devotion to a very sophisticated level of understanding of God, yet the only knowledge that liberates the individual from mental disturbance to a large extent is the knowledge in respect to the true nature of Saguna Ishvara as Nirguna Brahman, our very nature, which is the most important detail. Krishna has comprehensively presented the entire journey here. And now Arjuna asks a question on this verse 12. Which part we are seeing now? Arjuna is interested in knowing more about Vishvarapasha. Let me read it literally. Now Arjuna asks a question from verse number 12 up to the 18th. So the next question is, which part we are seeing now? Which part we are seeing now? Okay, no questions, that's where we are. Arjuna is interested in knowing more about the Lord in its cosmic nature, totality. Krishna has pointed out that everything in the creation is Ishvara's nature, Bhagwan's nature, Bhagwan's manifestation. Lord plus Namarupas is equal to the manifestation, the creation. But even though everything in the manifestation is a manifestation of the Lord, certain things in the creation are more attractive, more appealing to most human beings. So attractive manifestation of Ishvara, even among animals and insects. So we have touched a little bit this subject before. So the human jivas are the one somehow attributing likes and dislikes to contact with other beings, other insects, other inert objects, and other people. So this is a co-creation. I mean, Ishvara projects the entire universe made up of the elements and everything that is mixed in a way that is uniquely manifest. Every object, there are no two flakes of snow which are equal. And then the jiva is going to see all of that, is going to develop unavoidably. Once it's totally blind to the fact that it's a mere superimposition, is going to understand and feel like, wow, this is really real. And let me see what I like, let me see what I do not like. And then once we create our raga dvesha, our likes and dislikes, and then we say, okay, I understood Ishvara is everything which manifests, but Ishvara, this aspect I don't like of you, this other aspect of you I don't like. So I don't like you have created the the spiders. Silva hates spiders, especially the big ones that jump. So I don't like you have great cockroaches and so on. So we take certain things, say, no, Ishwar, I'm sorry, but these kinds of manifestation, I think you have projected just for us to suffer, to exhaust some papa karma, in a way. Sometimes Swamiji says that mosquitoes were created so that we can exhaust Papa Karma. So we have to see what we're gonna do. I mean, certain things, there is a common sense that nobody likes mosquitoes that can transmit illness, sickness, and so on, and they itch and they, all kinds of reaction. Who likes that? It's something very, yeah, very, very unfavorable to our comfort. So therefore, everybody wants to see Ishvara by looking into those objects, those things, those circumstances. Anything is an object that are favorable to my mental, emotional comfort. Swami says cockroach is much older than us, has survived every extinction of civilizations here. So it's a wonderful creature. Ishvara has designed it to somehow uh, live, outlive all of us human beings. Why? It must have some purpose. So even if comes a huge atomic explosion, the cockroach will survive. Scientists know that. It has such a survival mechanism. But somehow we find it difficult. Why nobody, why it's so disgusting, cockroach, in the mind of human beings, people, huh? I mean, especially when they fly, it's something so, you know, so frightening. Yeah. So Arjuna wants to know only the good things, the attractive things. So show me your glory, but not those objects that I hate. I want a long list, but only of those things that I love, that I appreciate. So he's putting Krishnaji in a difficult position. Krishnaji has to go there and see all the likes and dislikes of Arjuna, not to upset Arjuna, because Arjuna is not ready to accept all opposite pairs. I mean, this you don't like, but this is my glory. Okay, let me be careful with him because he's not ready for that. Huh? So Swami says that even in the Gita, we developed like preference, let's say. So some people say, I like the best is the 10th chapter or the 11th chapter or the 18th chapter. So we develop Raga Dvesha even to the chapters of the Gita. We have a lot of likes and dislikes for eating as well. Huh? This I like, this I don't like. So, in any case, it's better you take an attractive thing until you develop maturity to take everything as Ishwara's glory or prasad. Prasad is okay. Okay, I don't like, I don't appreciate, I don't find it attractive. It's not comfortable, but I take it as an opportunity. Yeah. But the glory, we want to say, to really feel inside that it is something, so glorious like that, send me something attractive in harmony with my likes. Because that way it's easier for me to focus on you, Lord. The mind easily gravitates towards things that are attractive, beautiful. And the mind is with those, can more easily hold itself upon those objects. Therefore, those attractive objects are better symbols of the Lord. Even though Lord is everything, we can simultaneously meditate upon the totality because our mind, we can simultaneously, because even though Lord is everything, we can simultaneously meditate upon the totality. Because our mind has limitation, you can think of only one thing at a time. Our eyes are limited. I cannot see all the things simultaneously. So, yeah, as long as we are looking for individual symbols, or configurations, and then we cannot see Shwara as a totality or the supreme intelligence behind everything. So, but if we develop that kind of finesse, mental expansion, and then we can meditate as the totality. The totality can be easily taken as pure sattva guna, yeah? This this intelligent knowledge principle that knows everything. But if you want to see in terms of physical material manifestation, the mind is very limited. So you're going to go from Jesus, this is glorious, that is glorious, that is glorious, and so on. You find many glories all over the place, and you can pick and choose anything to meditate upon. Remember that that is a feature of the Lord. But at certain stage, to visualize the totality for Vipassana is very difficult. It's impossible. Therefore, I take a symbol, a very finite symbol, a flower with a nice fragrance, exactly like we do using a flag of a country, represent the nation. I have to travel all over, says Swami, keeping the hand like that. By the time I complete, the hand will be stuck on the head. It's not possible, therefore, have a Bharata picture. Okay. Did you understand that? I think he's saying like, as an example, if you have the nation called India and the flag represent India. So, and then there is a certain posture of your hand, I believe, to salute the flag. But if I have to do that in everywhere I go, because everywhere is India, no, the hand is going to be in trouble, something like that. Better to use a symbol. And this symbol is referred here as alambanam. In the Upanishad class, I have dealt with Katha Upanishad. A finite concrete symbol to represent a limitless and abstract principle. Okay, so it's the limitless, infinite, abstract principle is not an object. This object did not fall well there. I take an object, represent that which is the subject, but it is the more subtle, the most pervasive. It's a principle, we could say. Uh, and this alambanan is of two types. So this is interesting. It talks about two types of symbols. It's interesting to illustrate a little bit another aspect of the Vedic culture. So there are some symbols that have a human form, and some other symbols that have no human form semblance, or how you say, there's not similarities. Okay, so the human form symbols, they have the limbs and the organs, like more or less like us, Rama, Krishna, etc. They have head, hands. Sometimes they put a few more hands, a few more heads, but it reflects a human form. Yeah? Lord is represent as a human being with limbs and so on. Anthropomorphism, visualizing God as a person, that is the name. So you project God at your own image, not the other way around. Even though the all-pervading principle cannot have a form, but you still represent this formless, infinite, limitless principle as a person. So this is called pratima. So Ishvara represent by a symbol which reflects the human being body form. But when you use another kind of symbol, which is not like a human being or not even an animal, not even a mixture of a human being with a head of an animal and so on. Okay, and we have a saligrama. Yeah? We have some other symbols that have nothing to do with animals or human beings forms. Things that have no limbs. No, those are different kind of uh, symbols, alambanam. They are called prateka. Okay, prateka symbol. The other one is pratima symbol. So we have a symbol that is, it has a shape, form, and limbs like human beings or human beings mixed up with animals. But they have others that have nothing to do with any living creature. Yeah, and there are some make if you take Tapalam and call it Vigneshvara, it is an example of Pratyeka Alambana symbol that has no how you say? No, I forgot. It's not coming the word in English.
The similarities?
Similarities, yeah. Okay, there is another one. But the flame does not have legs. The flame is a huge one in these Vedic rituals as well. So you can say choose any kind of symbol. No? In fact, we can take human beings. We can take human beings as a symbol. Yeah? If we attract to someone, if there is something great about that person, we can choose to use that person as a symbol for worship. But if you do that, never tell the person, because the person could easily develop ego, super ego. Now people are using me to meditate on the glory of the Lord. So that becomes a problem to the person itself. It's developing an ego for sure. Therefore, you can destroy a person by flattering him or her. You can destroy a person, okay? Very careful. Therefore, since even sometimes people do not know that they are destroying someone by doing that. And the person is enjoying being destroyed because the person did not really develop enough wisdom to prevent that from happening. It happens very often in relationship with the gurus, in other tradition, that they enjoy to be flattered and people throwing themselves for their feet and so on, not knowing that it's harming the guru itself. Mother is taken as a wonderful representative of God. Father is also taken. Guru is taken. Scripture taken. Any yan is taken. Thus, even a human being can be such a symbol. Therefore, Arjuna wants a list of symbols. Therefore, he says, hey, Krishna, even though I can do the homework, I want you to help me by giving me a list. So here there is a nice passage. If you just use anybody as a symbol, you have to be careful not to tell the person or not to tell, any guru, unless the guru has really transcended the vanity of the ego. So don't worship anybody who is still under the veil of Maya, identified as a body mind, and because it's going to damage the person, it's going to make the person stuck. Adoration for someone who did not really transcended the identification with the body mind, because the body mind is going to develop ego, vanity, arrogance, and self-importance, pride, and so on. Mother, therefore, but on the other hand, mother is a good representation of God. So, who is going to worship mother? The children of that mother, Mother, mother in India, mother is good. Father is also taken. And then there is here guru, okay? Yani is also taken. So Yani, guru here is a teaching guru, a guru who's teaching the Vedas or Vedanta. Because a guru who is teaching Vedanta or Vedas is not a vain or proud or arrogant or a guru that has a sense of self-importance, and so on. So this guru Yani is a Yani that has assimilated the teachings to a certain extent, that he's not at the risk of developing vanity and sense of self-importance and so on. So I have to understand that in the India culture, only, from what I understand, only the teaching gurus, which are yanis, yanis that which has somehow shifted naturally, not by doing something, but by understanding something, the sense of identity from the body, mind, sense complex, which is always subject to develop uh, self-importance or the feeling of being proud, and or shame about certain thing, identification as the doer. And this yani is it's okay to do that in our tradition, okay? Provide the yani is not just an intellectual exposure of the Vedas. Thus, even a human being can be a good symbol. Therefore, Arjuna wants a list. Let's see here. As we say, any object can serve as a symbol. Not aid, it helps, and aid is a helpful element in this process. It means help, support. Support is a good word. Support for what? For the mind. You need a symbol to bring the mind to the Lord's glory. And this symbol is called alambanam. We need to hold on to the symbol, but knowing clearly well what it does represent. Otherwise, it becomes just an exercise like any vipassana, that you are just focusing the mind on anything, but not connecting with Lord's glory. So therefore, in this way, the mind is getting the support, and the mind is knowing that that is just a symbol of the Lord, and you can visualize more easily in the abstract by focusing on the gross symbol. For doing abstract dhyana, we need the support of the concrete, and therefore it's called the lambada. So we want to do meditation, dhyana. For doing real abstract dhyana, we don't call dhyana, we call nididhyasana. So for doing nididhyasana, we only need one support, the Guru Scripture package. Okay, so you're gonna contemplate all the knowledge in regards to everyone's true nature identity as presented by our gurus, our teachers. We need that support to do the nididhyasana. But here, this level, we're going to need to get a gross dense support that's not going to liberate the individual through that dhyana, but it's going to help the mind to develop certain qualifications. Therefore, they call these alambanans, these symbols, valid symbols. You have to understand what you get and what you will never get from them. So you will never get moksha here. The benefit is not moksha. By doing these dhyanas or these upassanas, by that, my mind will expand. I will learn to see God everywhere. When I see a river, and then I see God. It's like when you are hungry, you see a nice plate of a dish that we love. Sometimes we jump into the food and we miss seeing the Lord and thanking the Lord for that. So I'm saying that when you see water, the river, remember it is the Lord. Lord's magic, Lord's glory, Lord's manifestation. Okay, the river has a certain attraction, the sea, the sky, everything. Do namaskara, yeah, and then prayerfully, silent in your heart, you just enter in the water of the river with a sense of devotion, gratitude, and reverence to the river, because the river is Ishwara's glories, one of Ishwara's glory among many. Yeah? And then Swami says here, and then enter, that transformation takes quite some assimilation. That's interesting. He says that. Don't believe that you get to that so easily and so quickly, you know. So in order to be all the time in contact with Ishwara's glory, you know, to this extent, I've always, I mean, I was amazed when I was there in the last few years of my relationship with India, which seems to be over in the sense of I don't see myself ever going there or anywhere, almost, you know, except here and there to visit my son maybe. But he says, now talking about, I mean, to go there, everybody's seeing Shwara. You see that devotion, you see those symbols. Everybody's is, you know, is somehow thanking the Lord, remember the Lord, offering something, ask something. So you see that, and then someone says here, it's this kind of devotion, all over devotion it requires a transformation that takes time. Here, instead of time, he says, takes a lot of assimilation and deep, you know, reflection, contemplation on this, and understanding the value of devotion and developing this reverence and appreciation. It's very easy to jump into the food, jump into the river. In Madras, that they have scarcity of water. The rivers they dry for a long period of time every year. So whenever they see a small dirt river, they jump with so much excitement. They forget that they are jumping into Ishwara's manifestation. So I'm saying, please do not do that. You know, just remember that is prasada, that is the Lord present itself to us from moment to moment in every aspect of our human experience. Don't swallow the food like that. Please don't do that. Remember the Lord. Sometimes I start eating, I forget the Lord, and then when I have my food in my mouth, I stop and say, "Oh Lord, I'm sorry, oh, I forgot." Oh, and then in silence, I remember, you know. I say, "Watch out. Remember the Lord first." So Krishna is asking help in remembering the Lord. This transformation Arjuna wants, and he asks Krishna's assistance because I want to know in which way you are present in my life, all around me, you know, in every moment, so that I can keep my heart, you know, singing this, you know, devotional appreciation towards the you. And Krishna is going to help Arjuna. In the next verse, he begins say, Krishna, or Arjuna formulates even better and more his requests for these symbols, you know, these glories. He says, please tell me again about this supreme power of manifestation in details, because there is no satisfaction for me who is listening to the nectar of these words of wisdom revealed to us directly from you. And so, why people, I wonder sometimes, Lynn, why people come to the classes again and again, especially here in Brazil, you know, they don't do much homework at all, but they want to listen to the same teachings because the teachings are more or less all the same, always the same. Why they come back again and again, and why they have so much satisfaction in listening to the nectar of these Upanishadic words, you know. It's the best music for a Vedantine or for a devotee. So Krishna, Arjuna is say, so tell me again, and tell me again and again in detail, okay? Because the satisfaction in listening to your glory as described by you is a nectar beyond any other pleasure we find in this world, okay? The nectar of these worlds of wisdom, of yours. So again, Arjuna is being very gentle, very polite. He's being a devotee that knows how to approach the guru, you know. It's very interesting nowadays. It's not common to find someone who approach the guru with a certain properly, you know, adequately, you know. So sometimes I have people who even come and visit me, and you know, they pretend to know even more than the guru. You know, they want to say something. No, no, this is not. You know, I'm always like, oh my God, just imagine if I would ever address my guru, confront him, say like, no, 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 I don't think you are right here. You know. So here now, Krishna is receiving the question of Arjuna, present in a most adequate way. You know, I want to know more about this power of yours, this manifestation in details, because I want to use it as symbols. No? And even though you already told me, forgive me, but I want to listen to it again and again. Sometimes there is need for more and more repetition until I assimilate this knowledge so that I don't need to bother the guru anymore to repeat it. Thanks God nowadays we can record these things. You know, the guru does not need to say 24/7 these things. There is no better satisfaction to me than listen to the nectar of your words. Very politely. First, he glorified Krishna. Krishna is happy, and he says, so I'm going to ask you to repeat it again and again. First, he pleased the Lord Krishna. Krishna is happy. We saw that in the last class, and then he makes his request, but his requests are made in a very, very appropriate way and gentle and, you know, elegant way. Who is sought after by everyone, the most wanted person, not in the negative sense, wanted person, most everybody wants the Lord. So here Swami says, Lord is the most wanted person. So not like criminals sometimes. So now he asked for the request, okay? The most wanted person, most one person, da, 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 da. Well, people constantly for this and that, solve this, solve that, constant petition receiver, blah, blah, blah. So I lost Swamiji here, but he's trying to say that Arjuna is behaving very nicely, very politely, and he's addressing someone who is very busy, you know. He's very wanted, not in a negative way. So, but the Lord seemed to have a great appreciation and sympathy to Arjuna, so that Arjuna, knowing how to behave well as well, could ask things again and again and again to someone who's so busy, you know. And but he's going to get Lord's attention as we see going, continuing until the 18th chapter of the Gita. May you enumerate, narrate, and list all your glories. I want you, this is music to my ears, Lord Krishna. So, Atmanaha Yogam. So, this is present as there is a passage here which may you enumerate or narrate or enlist Atmanaha Yoga. So this is a word for us to remember, okay? Atmana Yoga. Atma here is a reflective pronoun, your own yoga Shakti, potentially. What potential? The potentiality to become the universe. Swami is going to explain in which way that potential power, who becomes the universe and why it's called yoga. And the potentiality to become the universe. The mango seed has the potentiality to become a mango tree producing mangoes. All right. It has the potential to become only mango tree, but here we have the seed of the universe with the potential to become everything. Okay. All kinds of trees producing all kinds of fruits in analogy, So it's the potential to give everything. Okay. So does everything in the creation has a limit potential? Everything in the creation, one has a limit potential. We also have our own limit potential, but what is the greatest of all potential? He has the potential to become the entire cosmos. Oh, the same point. Yeah. So it's it's a huge this seed of manifestation. So Akasha, for example, now imagine Bhagwan becomes space itself. We do not even know what space is, so scientists do not understand space. We can see what air is. Yeah? Bhagwan manifests space first because anything is created. First, we require space to stay, and then comes, later is the other elements coming afterwards. Yeah? So out of space, the air and then the other three elements unfolds. Therefore, Yahu, Agni, and the earth itself. So this potentiality is called yoga. Okay, the yoga is the potentiality of out of the three gunas of Maya, the Prakriti of Maya. That one is a seed of the entire cosmos with the potentiality to become the five elements and everything that exists from there on. I told you before, this potentiality is never seen perceptually. It's the most invisible seed, the seed of the cosmos. Any potential can be inferred, okay? So, but some of these potentials we can see as well as a small seed, for example, because or some scientific phenomenon that can be inferred scientifically. So, suppose you have got singing potential. How do I know? If you keep silent, how do I know that you have a singing potential? Nobody will know by looking at your face. I have to ask you to sing. And from the song which I hear, I can infer your potential. Therefore, yoga is always to be inferred. Yoga goes to the potential. Bhagwan has got infinite potential power. How do I know? Because he has created this cosmos. The word is the testimony of Ishwara. This is beautiful. Word is the signature of Ishwara, Bhagwan, the Lord. So creation, we see artists, they do an artwork and then they put the signature. So this artwork is my potential manifest as art. So the entire world is as if the signature of the Lord. So from the world, I know Bhagwan's yoga potential, which is nothing but the Maya Shakti or the three gunas. Yoga is nothing but Maya Shakti only. Yoga. So why Maya is called yoga here? So this is nice. Shankaracharya writes in his commentary, yoga means combination, a union, joining some things, Gatanam. And Maya is called yoga because Maya is a combination of the three elements, the three gunas, sattva, rajas, and tamagunas, combination. Yeah? So Maya is said to be yoga because it has to join with the three energies to develop the five elements and then the physical chemical elements to bring about the cosmos. So it's yoga. This potential is yoga because it has to combine, it has to reach to the other element, gunas, and connect to make these numberless namarupas we call the world. So Maya is said to be yoga because of these three gunas, like a three-string strand. So you see a string. Now you see a how you call a rope. It has three-string strand. Suppose you have got a string which is made up of three strands. Okay, now string is the little thing, and then there are the strands, many strands sometimes. Exactly like that, Maya is one thread. Okay, thread is a word I'm more familiarized with. And in that Maya thread, there are three strands. It's a nice construct to explain the way the gunas, they connect together to bring about the subtle and the physical universe of objects. Suppose you have got a string which is made up of three strands, exactly like that Maya is one thread, and in that Maya thread, three strands there, which are known to be Sattva strand, Raja, and Tama strand. Since it is a mixture of the three, it is called yoga. Gunanam Mishraha, that Maya potential you have. Okay. Not only that, and then we have this yoga, this potential, which is the prakriti of Maya, which allows Ishvara to start doing this yoga, combining the three gunas and then producing different combination of the elements and so on, divide and recombine and so on. So we have all of that. It's referred to as yoga. But we have another element here which is referred to as vibhuti. This also I have told you before. Vibhuti is what? When the potential, which is yoga, becomes visible, and then we have the glory of Ishvara, vibhuti. That visible potential, yoga, manifests into the perceptible power is called vibhuti, gratified into matter to our sense organ. It's referred to as vibhuti. Vibhuti here is something which is the potential aspect of the Lord, Maya Shakti, which is a combination of the three gunas, the basic blocks, building blocks of the entire cosmos. So we have that's called yoga, and then it somehow combines, and then boom, it becomes the perceptible universe, which is called vibhuti. So yoga is to be inferred through what? Vibhuti. Vibhuti is the glory of the Lord. So beautiful this construct here, this explanation of this one. So we have vibhuti. We have to remember that vibhuti, this glory of everything around us, is coming from the seed of the universe. The seed is a combination of the three gunas of Maya. Ishvara knows how to play them to produce infinite numbers of namarupas. So the namarupas are going to be present in the mind of a devotee, a highly developed devotee, as something glorious, something to be highly appreciated. That vibhuti is perceived, and within that physical material perceivable universe, we need to infer the supreme intelligence, supreme knowledge, the miracle of life, and so on, which is the potential aspect, which fundamentally here is being resolved into the Prakriti of Maya, or the three gunas. But we know that Ishvara is there behind all of that. And behind Ishvara, there is the true nature of Ishvara as Nirguna Brahman. Bottom line, yoga is to be inferred. Vibhuti is to be experienced and enjoyed. If we have that kind of positive eyes of wisdom to see, the beauty of this manifestation as the glory of the Lord. Vibhuti is to be perceived. Yoga is to be inferred and worshipped. I have told you earlier, you should remember, but 1 week gap has passed, so you might have forgotten, and that is okay, says Swamiji. Yogan Vibhuti Kataya, teach me, says Arjuna in another word, says Arjuna to Krishna Ji. Now Krishna feels bad. Why? Because Krishna has already enumerated his vibhutis in the 7th chapter. You know where? So Krishna feels bad because he has already enumerated his glories in the 7th chapter. And let's see. In the 7th chapter, verse 8, so Krishna Ji said, I am the beautiful taste of water. Yes, we remember. I am the Omkara in the Vedas. I am the light in the sun, in the moon. Krishna has already enumerated in the 7th chapter. And again, on the 9th chapter, he has again enumerated some of his vibhutis. And now Arjuna is making a request that if it was not for the wisdom and the compassion of Lord Krishna representing Ishvara, any human being would feel a little bit upset, okay? But not Lord Krishna. I think Swamiji is just playing with us. So now imagine, he's going to take a human parallel to see how human beings would be upset with such a situation. He likes to tell stories. And he said, imagine after the teacher is teaching everything to us. And then after a full class of an hour and a half, the student says, okay, I enjoyed it, I like, but can you begin again start again from the beginning? So the teacher is going to be a little bit upset. So where were you? No, I listened to everything, but it was so beautiful, so enjoyable that I want you to begin again. Dayananda used to say, there was a musician who was singing a song in a ceremony, a wedding ceremony, a wedding reception, okay? He says that everybody was paying attention to the couple, and then the musician is playing, and nobody was, bothering much to listen to the music or acknowledge the musician, yeah? And nobody was really appreciated because the mind was on the couple. It was a wedding reception. But there was one person appreciating it. It was a musician. He was very happy. And at the time of the end of the ceremony, this person says, I have only one request to make. Please sing Mohana Raga. So who is this person asking that? So there was only one person, nobody was appreciating it. Only one person was appreciating. Oh no, there was one person appreciating, and the musician was extremely happy. Oh, at least one person is listening and appreciating. And this person comes and says, okay, I have only one request to you. Can you please sing a certain song? And that song was being sung again and again during the ceremony. The person says, sing that song, please. This is the only request I have to make. So how would the musician feel? Oh my God, I was singing this exact song music and asked me to play something that I was playing only. So he felt really bad, he has a rest. Likewise, let's say, as if Krishna was a little bit upset for having told about his vibhutis for through all these recent chapters. Arjuna asked again for the same song, the same music. Tell me, describe the vibhutis of you, Lord. So Krishna would feel upset and sad and maybe even a little bit irritated. And the teacher, Krishna ji, he is a Krishna Guru, the Sadguru, the ultimate teacher, the perfect teacher. So the teacher would think like, what is the use of teaching these people, And this is something that passes through the mind of every Vedanta teacher. They come always with a fresh and clean mind. They don't retain any knowledge that was given before. And they enjoy the song of the Vedanta scriptures, but they don't assimilate it. Therefore, Arjuna knew that Krishna would be a little bit disappointed if the student does not retain and remember the knowledge. Then Arjuna says, Krishna, I remember very much you have taught me. Do not mistake me. I'm not asking you this something new. I'm asking it because this is music to my ears and I like to hear to it again and again and again. I know the teachings. I tend to forget it here and there. And I want you to repeat, not because I do not know. This is the most common thing. A lot of people know, but most people do not hold this, retains the teaching on a moment, so that one will be protected from these teachings. No, I'm not asking you to present to me as if it is a new topic. I know that you already taught it. I'm asking you for repetition. Why? Because I love to hear the nectar of your words. So in the olden days, in drama and all, they used to say, once more, once more. Yeah, when there were some concerts, one more, one more, one more, one more. So if there was a famous musician, they would say, one more, one more, one more. And they will sing before they are done with the show. I have heard, and in the drama, if he falls that very beautiful, they will say once more, once more. You get up and again fall and die again because it is a play. So, so die again because I enjoyed so much the play of you, dramatically being killed and dying. So Arjuna is also telling once more, more, more. And it's so nice to hear Ishwara's glory, Ishwara's vibhuti. I never get bored of listening to you, Krishna. It is ever fresh, it's ever rejuvenating, and it's ever enlivening. I never get satiated or fed up. Therefore, please repeat it, repeat it. So, a nice passage here, a relevant passage is nobody gets bored to listen to this. It refreshes the soul, it rejuvenates, it makes one more alive. And why does so? Because these teachings, somehow, it's they resonate with reality, the truths of our beings. So we listen to it, and listening is easier than studying it alone. So Shravana, everybody loves Shravana, and everybody gets moksha during Shravana. And why? Because when you listen it just resonates as my true self, my real nature, my real identity, and it makes me fresh, rejuvenated, and enlivened. So I never get tired of this because somehow unconsciously it refreshes me, but consciously I need to understand the mechanism by which I'm so attracted by this nectar of the Upanishad words. I'm attracted because they are truthful to my nature, and it vibrates, it resonates, and I know it's the truth, and the truth set us free, even if it is a momentary freshness and liberation. I never get tired. Unlike the other sayings, and then Swami elaborates beautifully. If you like a certain food, if you repeat it again and again, sometimes after a while you are bored with that. If you like a certain music, I remember when I was young, I had this fixation with music that would make my soul feel so good. So, but after some time, the effect would fade because even in music that has a certain effect of great appreciation and somehow refresh now the mind, and you feel like, ooh. After some time, it does not work because it may become even nauseating, food or music, a song, and so on. But there is something about the nectar of this wisdom, of the words of the Lord, that somehow never, never, ever makes us tired or fed up or nauseated. And why? Why so? I never get nauseated or saturated because of that. Why? Because it is, I'm listening, Ruptam. So a Ruptam is Sashti Vibhaktata, or so much such. Me word is here. It should go with more sense. Therefore, may you repeat the topic and do not repeat as you did in the two verse previously said in two verse. So now I want more even more elaborated. So that's why we're going to have several other verses elaborating in response to this request of Arjuna. But Lynn, if you want to you know use your brain, use your mind to go through all this to understand the why. Swami is trying to say why you are never tired of this, because it is amrutam, it's nectar maybe, amrutam. And I don't know.
I
I already,
remember, excuse me, I remember when I first came across Vedanta, traditional Vedanta. And it was like, and I was thinking about this in terms of the people who come back time and again, but don't do the homework, as you say. It's like there's some memory out of time, timelessly, almost on the cellular level, that fullness,
yeah,
being just a little bit of that limitation is, that boundary is broken. It was beautiful, Grace.
yeah. Yeah, that is my take as well. That's why I see the reason people come back again and again, because it sounds right, it sounds truthful, and it sounds liberating. The question is how to keep that truth at all times. I am consciousness, totally free, limitless, infinite, constant, totally free and independent to anything.
Discipline,
This,
discipline is so important.
yeah.
The sadhana chatushtaya sampatti, the 6 disciplines. It's work,
Yeah.
24/7.
Yeah. Yeah. And development of qualification is the base. Yeah. It
Yeah.
comes with efforting and disciplines and so on. Okie dokie. I don't remember. I think we won't have Mark next Monday, but we're gonna meet next Monday and Tuesday as usual. Okay. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om. Namaste. Thank you, Lynn. Thank you, Sylvia. We
Thank
meet again. Bye bye.
Thank you.